What's good, everybody, man? Boy Jay in the building. Back again with another video. Alright, so there's a lot of love to go around for what happened yesterday and early this morning. But now, I'm going to say this. There is some hate that I'm going to get to. But before I get to that, I'm going to show a lot of love to the guys that were drafted and signed their undrafted free agent deal. And in between there, I'm just going to give my thoughts on the whole draft in itself, because I thought this was definitely one of the weirdest drafts that I've seen in quite some time, man. So, but first off, man, to the guys who got drafted, Joshua Williams, the first HBCU player to be drafted off the board. He was the first Division II player to be drafted this year, and he's the first player drafted from Fayetteville State since, 1976? 6'3" long cornerback, man. Like, I told y'all about him before. But yeah, shout out to him. And he got signed in the 4th round to the Kansas City Chiefs. And shout out to him for being picked up by a championship-made team. Because, look, as long as y'all got Pat Mahomes, y'all going to always have a chance to win. So, shout out to him. Jacoby Durant, 4th round pick to the Los Angeles Rams, playing alongside Jalen Ramsey, and they had acquired Troy Hill from the Browns. So yeah, that secondary is going to be absolutely dope. And he playing alongside Jalen Ramsey, like I said before. I believe he's still the best cornerback in the league, regardless of his performance from the playoffs and the Super Bowl. I still believe he's the best cornerback in the game. Next up, James Houston. It was long overdue. He should have been drafted earlier, but yeah, he got drafted to the Detroit Lions, 6th round pick. Now, it's going to be interesting how they use him, because are they going to use him to strictly rush the passer? Are they going to use him to play strictly linebacker? Like I don't know how they're going to use him, but it's going to be real interesting. And we're going to talk about how they did James Houston too. But I'm going to get to my hate at the end. But Ja'Hari Carter from Southern, drafted in the 7th round to the Chicago Bears, man. And Chicago Bears are needing some protection for Justin Fields, because he took a beating last year. He didn't play very well, so hopefully, Carter could help him on that offensive line, man. But now I'm gonna get to the free agent signing. Marquise Bell was the first player to sign to undrafted free agent, to sign as an undrafted free agent to the Cowboys. Savion Williams from FAMU, who was a transfer from Tennessee, he signed with the Jets. Flex Harper, aka Trigger Man, signed with the Browns. Jaquez Hazard, the wide receiver from Howard, signed with the Commanders. You got Zafar Kelly, who was one of the lockdown corners from South Carolina State. He signed with the Packers. CJ Holmes, another JSU product, he signed with the Saints. We got Ron Hunt, the receiver from North Carolina A&T. He signed with the Jets. Who else? Will Adams, the Division II safety from Virginia State, who was also a CIAA product. He signed with the Falcons. Samir Bridges, who's the tall 6'6" receiver from Fort Valley State, he signed with the Ravens. Then you also got Deshaun Dixon, who's the DN from Norfolk State. He signed with the Jaguars. Akil Glass, who it was long overdue, but he signed with the Buccaneers. You also got the tight end, Isaiah Macklin from Carolina Central. He's going to the Jets. Then you also have Jermaine Martin, running back from North Carolina A&T. He's going to the Colts. Then you got Keith Corbin, receiver for Jackson State. He's going to to Buffalo. Then you got Baldwin Robinson, a track athlete from Alcorn State, is going to the Buccaneers. Now with Baldwin Robinson, he actually got the, I guess he broke the record in the 60-yard dash, in the 60 meters. Was it 6.60? And then he ran the 40 he ran a 4.2, a 4.2 in the 40, which is that. So he definitely the fastest dude in the SWAC. So he signed his, he's heading to the Buccaneers. And then D Anderson, the receiver from Alabama A&M, he signed with the Saints. And I'm sure there's gonna be more guys that's gonna be signing. Later as I drop this video, but shout out to all of the guys who signed their undrafted free agent deals. There was a lot of love shown from HBCUs, man. I know, the whole HBCU culture is jumping for joy for these guys right now, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now let me get to my hate. And the things that, like, my reaction to this entire draft. Like I said before, there was only one quarterback that was drafted within the first 2 rounds, which I haven't seen that in years. I don't know how long it's been since that even happened, but this was already not a star-studded quarterback draft to begin with. I think there was only like 8 or 9 quarterbacks that was drafted in this entire draft. Like, it was crazy. The first 6 picks were defensive players. Yeah, like the first 5 or 6 draft picks was defensive players. You had two punters and a kicker drafted in the 4th round, which was also weird. I thought that was a reach 4 rounds in a wasted pick, if you ask me. Like, the fact that a kicker got drafted before Josh Williams and the Kobe Durant was crazy. But what was amazing about the Kobe Durant being drafted by the Rams is that he was the Rams' 2nd pick. After the Rams only had about like 6 or 7 picks to have, for him to be their 2nd pick was absolutely dope, man. So my other stuff, like that dude Kobe Bryant, who was drafted in the 4th round as well. And it's crazy because he not only won the Jim Thorne Award, like, how you win the Jim Thorne Award but get 2nd team All-American? Weird. And for him to have that, and for him to be drafted in the 4th round, when I thought he was gonna be 2nd or 3rd round pick, which is weird. The quarterback was Malik Willis from Liberty, who got drafted in the 3rd round, like in the bottom of the 3rd round. It was crazy. But my ultimate hate, I'm super shocked. And I don't know why Marquise Bell was not drafted. Like, I'm happy that he was the first person to sign as an undrafted free agent. I'm super happy about that. But the fact that he wasn't drafted at all, when, number one, there were 21 safeties that were drafted. 21 safeties. And I had to go look back at the projections at the start of the season, in the middle, and after the season. And according to the projections, and according to the draft board, Marquise Bell was projected to be drafted anywhere between the 3rd and 5th round. Like, he was the best HBCU player coming into the draft, to me. Like, the fact that there were 5 punters and a kicker that was drafted before Bell. It's all 5 punters, a kicker, and they also drafted three fullbacks. Fullbacks are used on goal line. Like, people don't run the ball consistently anymore, and the fact that they're probably only going to use fullbacks maybe even 7 to 8 times a game, and they're only going to use them to block. And the fact that they had 5 punters, a kicker, 21 safeties, and 3 fullbacks drafted in front of Bell is, I don't know what y'all doing. Like he was an All-American for God's sake in 2019. He was an All-American. His stats damn near mirror this past season. Outside of his interceptions and his pass deflections, everything else is still the same. If you ask me, I thought that was an absolute joke. Like the fact that 21 safeties got drafted before Marquise Bell, and at least 5 of the safeties wasn't even projected to be drafted. One of them was from Valdosta State. Another one was from Yale. I'm like, I don't know what y'all are even looking at for y'all to not even draft this kid. I didn't understand that. I don't understand that. He was invited to the NFL Combine. Y'all had all 32 teams come to FAMU for their pro day. And the fact that y'all saw what he could do and none of y'all, like absolutely none of y'all drafted Marquise Bell, that was a joke. It was an absolute joke. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Then the other thing that I really hated, and I didn't pick up on it until later, the fact that when y'all picked James Houston, y'all shown his pro day highlights, y'all shown his Florida Gators highlights, but the fact that James Houston was even drafted in the first place was because of the year he had at Jackson State. And the fact that y'all show none of those highlights, I don't understand, bro. Like that, that's weird in itself. Like the fact that y'all know, like y'all spoke about the job that Coach Prime did with James Houston, and the fact that y'all show none of his highlights, I'm having a hard time understanding that. I'm really having a hard time understanding how y'all show none of his highlights. But y'all couldn't deny him. But I just thought that was some hater shit to do, if you ask me. I'm sorry. But look, Coach Prime got 2 players in the NFL. Coach Willie from FAMU got 2 players in the NFL. We got some Division II players in the NFL. We got 3 Division II players in the NFL. 3. Like, that is super dope, man. We got, dog, it's truly amazing to actually see what transpired yesterday. I was hopeful that at least one guy would be drafted on the second day, but yeah, I sat through that whole entire draft. Third day, it was super long. It was from 12 to I think probably 5:30, even 6. But yeah, it was super long, man. So shout out to all of the HBCU guys that are heading to mini camp. I hope y'all absolutely do well, and I'm super proud of y'all, man. The whole, like I said before, the whole HBCU culture, we're all doing jumping jacks. We're all throwing a party for y'all, man. So, and look, there's more to come with this. This is just the start. Shout out to the HBCU Legacy Bowl and the HBCU Combine that were all factors. Yeah, the HBCU Combine was an absolute game changer. The fact that Will Adams I think he was the standout. He was the absolute standout in that combine. So I'm super proud of the guys who competed who competed there and got their chance. Now, there's still a few players that haven't gotten a call yet. You got Marquise, the receiver from Southern, and you got Al Young, who are still waiting. I'm super shocked at those. There was an offensive lineman from FAMU that I'm forgetting. Forbes, I believe that's his name. Keenan Forbes. Yeah, Keenan Forbes from FAMU. Haven't heard anything from him yet. So there are some guys that are still waiting. But for the most part, man, yo, I'm super happy, man. Like the fact that we went from 0 guys being drafted 2 years ago to us having 4 and many more signing their undrafted free agent deals. Yeah, I'm super proud of that, man. Like I couldn't be more happier to come from an HBCU. Couldn't be more happier to do something like this, man. So yeah, that was extremely wonderful. Yeah, South Carolina State got 2 guys. Jackson State with 3. North Carolina A&T with 2. FAMU with 2. Alabama A&M with 2. Like, this was just a big, huge win for HBCUs this weekend, man. Within the next 2 years, we're going to have more. And it's going to be one day where around this time outside, we're going to have a first round pick come since Darius Leonard did it. So there's gonna be more of this coming. It's gonna be a revolving door. But we should all be celebrating with these guys, man. And shout out to the whole HBCU culture, man. Salute.